The way I'm holding that makes it shake, but it's going to look basically like that. If you want to, and I recommend the guys that are doing this for the first time, just draw those on there and make sure you have 12 or whatever rays that your reference shows you. When I do it, again, because I have done so many of these, I don't bother to draw it on anymore, because again, I use the tool as my pencil, and I literally carve it in, as I would have drawn it in. Now I'm using, again, a Fordham handpiece. The burr that's in it is a little, probably a little diamond or ruby type tip. And it's what some of the guys call a Christmas tree shape, very long, slender Christmas tree shape. And for this application, it works very, very well. I use it to cut in those rays. The nice thing about this this abrasive tool in the Fordham is that it's shaped almost perfectly for this job. The rays can very easily be, routed in again. And one thing, I guess the most important thing I want to tell you about this is don't hold it like you would hold your ballpoint pen or your lead pencil and try to use the tip, because you have no control over it that way. It's going to want to scribble all over just because of the centrifugal force of the tool. I lay it down on its side, as you see here, and I use the length of the piece, which kind of acts like a rudder on a boat, all right? And it allows me to pull it in a straight line, or let's say a straighter line, because every once in a while it'll still maybe want to wander just a little bit. But so, to show you what I'm talking about, we'll turn that on. Here's what we do. Again, remember I said that first ray kind of comes right out onto the edge, right? So we'll start with that one. Also, I should clarify a point too before I do this. I know how deep into the mannequin this fin is going to go, but for your clarity here, I'm going to draw a pencil line, or in this case a Sharpie line on there, just like so. And that shows you how deep into the mannequin it's going to set. I know I don't want to take this ray down below that line. I will say just a little bit above it, actually. And so you can see what I'm talking about here, like so. See where I'm setting into the wood, and I press in, and remember that as you do this, the depth of the ray is more at the base of the meaty part of the fin and shallower as it comes out towards the paper thin edge, right, for obvious reasons. So just literally lay that on there and just drag it off the direction that you want it to go. Notice there's a little bit of a curvature of the fin. I like to try to follow the curvature of that fin with these first 2 or 3 rays. That's it. And from then on, the rays start to follow and flow back. And blow a little of that sawdust away. It might make it a little easier to see. Notice the direction that I'm holding the tool and the direction that it's pointing. They're going down here to this imaginary axle where these spokes are connecting to, somewhere down in this general area. Again, we're just using the burr and pressing down deep at the base of the burr and just sliding it out as we go, getting shallower as we go out toward the edge. Another nice thing about using the little diamond and ruby burrs or whatever is you can also sand off any rough edges that you have around there. And it's simple to just roll it. As you now see, the veins are running in this direction, but I'm running crosswise to them and just very lightly buffing over the edges of the veins that I cut in there. And all that does is just flicks off the rough burr of wood that we pulled out of there as we rolled it. I'm going to do this side again too, just so you can watch that again. It's very, very quick. Notice again the curvature of the ray that follows the curvature of the fin. Heavy in the bottom and deep, and light and shallow as it comes out towards the edge. You don't want to go all the way off of the edge. You want to stay, you know, say up in the what, 1/4 inch or maybe 3/16 of an inch away, but don't come all the way out. Look again at your references and you'll see exactly what I mean and why. That's a carved fin. Not a detailed fin, but it's a carved fin. We know that the rays of the fin have feathery edges. I always tell people, you know, they'll ask, why do you teach us how to carve a fish in a carving class, a how-to carving class? And I said, because if you can carve a trout, if you can carve a fish, you can carve anything after that. You can do the feathers on a bird, you can do the tail and the mane on a carousel horse, you can do the hair on a doll face or whatever. Any number of things that are all applicable and cross-reference to the other carvings. So that's how that's done. To do the feathery edge, I use a Dremel tool, flex shaft of course, and in this case we have added to the mandrel 2 cutoff discs, abrasive cutoff discs. Why do we use 2? One works great. Unfortunately, they are so thin and they are so fragile that when you're cranking at about 20 or 30 whatever RPMs, 30,000 that is RPMs, they do have a tendency to come apart sometimes if you're not careful. You don't want that to happen, especially when you're standing there like me without eye protection. Again, let me emphasize, eye protection. So I double it. Why do I double it? Because I have really strengthened the integrity of the cutoff disc and you know, make it a whole lot more durable and less likely to come apart. And yet it still does the exact same job that I wanted that one disc to do in the first place. And again, this is such a very quick operation. The old fish carvers like myself back in the beginning will tell you, we used to sit there with a wood burning tool and spend hours burning each little vein and each little feathery edge into the fins on our fish. Took forever. This is the fastest, most effective way I know to do you know, a reproduction fish fin. Wide open again, no foot feed to control the speed or what. When I'm doing these, again, you want the arch of the fin to decide how these rays are going to arc. So a lot of times you'll see my arm isn't moving, it's all hinging right here in my wrist because I want to get this rainbow effect, right? So I start at the edge of the fin and just rock it back and down onto the ray of the fin. But it's creating a very, very realistic texture and feathery look to our fin. If I want to give the effect of, say, a fin that a fish has been caught, when you see these real ragged edges on your fins, a lot of folks don't know that's not a natural fin. That was probably caused by the fishing line, you know, dragging through the fish's fin as he was fighting to get away. But if for whatever reason you wanted to do a little bit more of a ragged edge fin, you can do the same thing with this tool just by concentrating on a specific area, right, and doing a little bit more of a ragged edge. That sort of a ragged edge would be more comparable to, say, some of the salmon who, after they spawn, begin to deteriorate and their fins really start to rag out and almost become like broom straw. They're so ragged. But again, see how quick and simple and easy this is to create a very realistic looking fin. Notice too, by rolling from the base of the fin off the edge, I have a tendency to get that very natural